Hello, everyone, all of your beautiful faces on this fine Thursday evening. My name is Angela. I am your National Libertarian Party Chair. I am joined with Brian McWilliams, my communications director, podcaster who's better at that than I am. Probably a few less definitely slurs his words, though.
It definitely says a lot more slurs.
Yeah, a lot of crazy words.
Balancing out. It's the balancing act.
I think I'm the one known for slurs, but that's okay. It's fake news. We are joined with a really exciting candidate tonight, Stan McDaniels, who is running to replace Matt Gaetz in District 1. That's right, in Florida, the Pensacola area. You can donate to him. That is what we are doing tonight. We are plugging him for donations. Down at the bottom, you see that donor box link, donorbox.org/Stan McDaniels for Congress. We are doing a money bomb for this lovely gentleman because he has a filing deadline due tomorrow, and we need to raise a few $1,000 to hit that deadline. Stan, tell us about yourself and tell us what is your fundraising goal.
So my name is Stan McDaniels, and I'm running for Congress here. I grew up here in Northwest Florida, born in Tallahassee, been here in Pensacola since I was 5, but my family goes back generations here in Escambia County. I ran for county commissioner back in 2022 and ended up getting 22% of the primary vote. And I've been fighting the corruption here in Northwest Florida for many years now. So I'm just hoping to do some good and get our libertarian message out in this wonderful time we have to really start ending a lot of these federal programs.
Nice. I ran for a special election once to replace Javier Becerra in California, who went on to become, a blood-sucking bureaucrat of a different type at Stripe up in Sacramento, California. God bless the wonderful people of California who stick around and have not left for the libertarian homelands of Florida and Texas and New Hampshire. So I'm going to pass it over to Brian McWilliams, and I just want to remind everybody and request and please with of the Christmas spirit and goodwill and cheer in the world right now, donate to this man so that we can get him in the special election. It's an incredible opportunity for us. We want to be part of this race. And thank you, guys.
Amen. Thank you, Angela. And by the way, it is a cheer. I will cheers. I don't know. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Cheers it up. We're going to have fun with this money bomb. And I just want to say, to start off, I got into libertarianism because of a money bomb, essentially. I don't know about you, but Ron Paul, the money bomb that Ron Paul had, when he was first running, one of my most vivid memories, because it not only created the term money bomb. I mean, it's the first time I ever heard it. Stan, had you ever heard money bomb before Ron Paul did it?
No, actually, this is the first time I've ever heard money bomb.
Really?
So, super exciting. But, Ron Paul is what actually had me registering Republican here in Florida. So I could vote for him in the primary because of the closed primaries. I was really hopeful we could get him as president back in 2008. And so it's really good to be back as a libertarian after being labeled an embarrassment to the GOP because of my open carry case in 2022 during my election then. And that is looking very good for overturning open carry for the state of Florida and setting a new precedent. You're not going to find a better two-way candidate than me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And welcome back. We welcome you with open arms. But yeah, the money bomb that we had before, or that Ron Paul had, it not only generated enough for him to keep campaigning, but it also generated media attention. And let's be honest, that's the benefit of this, right? Like libertarians, we talk a big game. I need people to put money where their mouths are right now. For you, for what's going on here, Matt Gaetz is out. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity here, right? Not only, and look, let's hope you get elected. But if not, we have an opportunity here to create so much money with this opportunity, so much impact, and to actually cause media waves as well. So it's not just about winning the election for you. It's also about messaging. It's about moving that ball forward, right?
Well, I think that this is a very winnable campaign during this special election. The estimates are that's going to be between 15 and 30% turnout. It's really funny because the election is on April Fool's Day. But in every county here in Northwest Florida, in this district, we have over 20% non-party affiliated voters. And so this is a real opportunity to get these voters that don't have a party affiliation to vote for a Libertarian candidate. And I've already pulled over 21% of a Republican vote as a Republican, obviously, but in 2022 because of my stance on guns. So there's a real opportunity there to get some Republican candidates as some Republican votes as well. So with the low turnout, that's a real opportunity to actually win if we can really put the work in.
Well, I want to ask you about some of your policy positions. Like what are you running on? As you said, obviously guns, gun rights, but some of the policy positions I want to get into. First question though, how much, if we do get, let's say we go past the amount of money you need to get on the ballot, will you be getting Botox injections to compete with Matt Gaetz? Is that a factor in this race? People need to know.
I intend to age naturally. I think every gray hair is just speaks to my experience and the struggles that I've had to deal with and overcome in life. So no, I will not.
You're not gonna have a race to the top of the hairline with Matt Gaetz as far as moving the eyebrows up. It doesn't correspond with the voter turnout. No,
absolutely not.
All right, well, that's good to know. All right, well, tell us what are some of the policy? I keep saying policy positions that you're running on that you think are going to be a difference maker, and also tell me a little bit about who are your opponents. I mean, who do you think is the biggest contender that you're going against, and what messaging are you using against them do you think is going to be most effective?
Well, we've seen the Trump endorsements and appointments, and we've seen some bad ones, right? We've seen some decent ones, and we've seen some good ones. I'm not all too happy with the endorsement of Petronis. Number one, he's not even from here. Number two, he has gotten a lot of money from insurance and health agencies, right, and PACs. And so I'm not really a big fan of that. As CFO of Florida, he was supposed to rein in this insurance rates, and they've just skyrocketed, continued to skyrocket, no matter what kind of insurance we're talking about. And so I'm not the biggest fan of this candidate because of his connections to this big money in politics. I want to stay away from that big money. Petronis. We do have another local guy, Gene Valentino, who's racing. Homan had originally endorsed him. He's a Republican, and he was a county commissioner back many years ago, and he's getting back into this race. So we'll have to see how that Republican primary goes to see who the candidate will be. But Joel Rudman, he's another one out of District 3. He resigned from the Florida House after just getting elected, and that's why are you going to leave your constituents, with another seat, another special election. So I'm not a big fan of that. And he never came out and publicly supported Trump. And now he's saying, I'm super glad to, be on fighting with Trump. So, is it just hot air? And yeah, but I can put a gold seat in there, and my policies are to, protect the smallest minority that our Constitution enshrined, and that is the individual. I want to give power back to our people, and I want to work for the people here in Northwest Florida and the rest of this country, because we see you can watch with all the lawfare that's going on. It's not just going on against, the president, the elect, right? It's going on against every American all over this country. So we need to rein in. When I think of the deep state, I think of these local courts, the judges, the county commissions, and because they're the ones that are spending that money that's allocated in DC, right? And I've been down here. I've seen the work that's being done to waste our money through nepotism and all the corruption here in Northwest Florida.
That's an interesting point. And by the way, for those of you just joining, asking, who the hell is Brian McWilliams? I am the communications director for the Libertarian Party. Welcome to this live stream MoneyBomb for Stan McDaniels, who is running for Congressional District in Florida against Matt Gaetz, District number one, baby. You know what? That's a really interesting point about the deep state I've not heard anybody make before. And that is that we think of the deep state as the CIA and bureaucrats in the federal government and the FBI, and right, that's the deep state we think of, and we forget to think about the deep state on the local level. The people that are corrupt within the bureaucracy, as you said, that are working that just keep getting elected and elected, that utilize that federal budget, that the commissioners that never leave, the judges that never leave, even sheriffs that never leave. And of course, we're more fond of sheriffs than we are of police. But that's a fantastic point. And I think an underrated point from a libertarian perspective. I mean, I know Angela's working on this, our chair, Angela McCardle. Of course, everybody watching knows that, but I have to be clear, on a localized Doge initiative that we're going to be talking a lot more about in the coming weeks. And that speaks to exactly what you are talking about.
Listen, Florida has over 105,000 NGOs alone. Okay, that's just in Florida. And I would refer you guys to Forest Mommy. I'm sure plenty of people follow her. She's run for local office before, and she can tell you all about how they're funneling this money through the NGOs. And once your money gets to the NGO, it's to the wind, right? And so this involves a lot of getting involved, going to the meetings, which I've done, and understanding the process, right? And so these grants, they get approved at the county level or the city level, and then a lot of times there's state and federal matching funds to go along with those grants, right? And so you see this little bit of money at the county level, but then you double and triple it, right?
Yep, kind of like fractional reserve banking. Right? You only need a little tiny bit at the bottom, but it all goes to the top. Guys, remember, you can donate to Stan's campaign. I want to remind you guys, at the bottom, we have a ticker here, Stan. It's donorbox.org/Stan-McDaniels-4-Congress. If you're just listening to the sound of my voice, we have very little time to do this. Again, guys, I want to encourage you. I'm going to sound like a carnival barker here. Stan, how much do you weigh? Hold on, wait. Let me guess. We're doing the carnival thing. Let me guess. How tall are you?
6'3".
6'3", a man after my own tall, lanky heart. I'm going to guess you look a little thinner than me. You need to hit the gym. I'm going to say you're 192.
You're pretty close. About 190, 185, somewhere in there.
Pretty damn good, though. Thank you, people. If you appreciate that, guys, please donate. Even $5, guys. This is a money bomb. We want to blow it up. We're here entertaining you, the people. Please do donate to help what he's got going on here. But yeah, man, so tell me a little bit more about where do you think? Well, actually, first we have a question from Joe Hanush, who's one of our volunteers for the social team and a great libertarian doing hard work.
Thank you, Joe, for all your help.
What is taxation?
Theft.
There we go. Thank you. Had to get that out of the way. Check the box. There you go, Joe. I'll see you in the comments. So tell me more about.
Well, I'd like to expand on that because inflation's theft too.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
please. Damn well right. Damn well right. Keep going. Keep going, Stan.
It's another tax on us, and for everybody that's done it right all these years, and we've been through double-digit inflation. This is where the cryptos and this decentralization thing is really big. So, it's really changing the game and putting power back in people's hands too. So I love seeing what's going on with the crypto market.
Are you the only person in the race that's talking about crypto, the potential for crypto? And by the way, let's acknowledge, I don't know if you saw the news trending today, Hawk Tua girl got in some trouble. Do you see that, Stan?
Oh, well, you got to be careful with those meme coins. There's always going to be, there's risk. There's risk involved. Personally, I've chosen a coin that's more stable, right? I haven't bought the Bitcoin, but I've gotten into XRP and XRP.
I have some of that. It's not treating me that well. Now we are not endorsing this, nor is the Libertarian Party. By the way,
we're not financial advice.
Yes, this is not financial advice. We're not endorsing any coin, except the LP coin, which at the current time, sadly, is the fiat currency dollar, which Stan needs to compete for this seat to replace Matt Gaetz. Again, this is a money bomb. People, please donate as much as you can. Okay, so is anybody else in the race talking about cryptocurrencies as an alternative currency or alternative economic models, or are they even talking about inflation and what the base cause of it? Is that something you're campaigning on? Do you think it's something that's going to resonate in your district, or is it something that people know the term inflation, but it's hard to describe to them what the root causes are?
Well, it's really early. Qualifying ends tomorrow at noon, so not many of the candidates have been talking too much about much. But one thing that I think leads right into this is an internet bill of rights as well, right? And so we need to be sure that we're not over-regulating this crypto market. If any regulation is necessary, probably not. But we do need an internet bill of rights to protect our data, because they've been buying and selling our data without our permission, right? And they've been making billions of money off of the data that we are creating by being here on the platforms. And we definitely need an internet bill of rights for the people to protect that data and that information that from the social medias, the Googles, the Yahoos, all of them. Let
me ask you this. So I'm trying to think of what Gaetz was good on that you're better on. And one thing I could think of in all likelihood would be foreign funding of wars, Ukraine. I mean, Matt Gaetz is one of the better people. If I'm remembering correctly, and I'm sure people in the comments will correct me, as you can, but if I recall, Gaetz is fairly outspoken on Ukraine funding and anti-Ukraine funding. Is that something you think is potent in the district? Is that one of the reasons that they liked Gaetz and that you could play into even further? It's kind of like, was it? I think it's Horton says, attack. Yeah, it was Horton. Attack the left from the left, attack the right from the right. And the right now is vastly more anti-war than the left. Is that something that you can really lean into? Again, we have to get you on the ballot. So give money, people. But moving forward, is that something you think you can really, elbow drop these people on and be like, F all this funding for foreign wars in Ukraine?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Matt Gaetz has been pretty good on that. And I think that, we need to primary every candidate that's voted for that Ukraine funding at all. This is a war we don't need to be involved in. And we had this current president talking about, making them a part of NATO. Come on, it's why all this escalated in the first place. And we should not be sending any money, any foreign aid. We got to protect our Americans. We've got what's going on in North Carolina. The people are still suffering, and the government's not doing enough for them, to help. But the people have come out and supported. And then even, the locals have shut down some of the buildings that they've made so people can stay in. And the Amish came down and built a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't up to code.
The Amish came down from I'm from Pennsylvania. Did the Pennsylvania Amish come down? Which Amish? We gotta be.
I don't know where they were from, but I just know the Amish came down and built a bunch of little tiny shed home type deals, and the county shut them all down, tried to kick them all out. So
damn. You know what? As much as I hate it, God bless the government for shutting down charitable acts with no possible downside. I mean, really,
downside.
God bless them though, because it helps us. It helps us to say, look at this abuse of power.
Absolute abuse of power. Absolute. What's going on in North Carolina? That's a failure. I'll tell you, that's one thing DeSantis has done good is, response to the storms. I have to give him that. It's been, he's not waiting on the red tape from the Fed, and he's just getting it done, and that's what a governor should do. I think the governor of North Carolina failed at that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I just, again, I do a little comedy on the side, guys. I'm just thinking about how horrible it must be for the Amish. If there were Florida Amish or North Carolina Amish, they don't have air conditioning. In Pennsylvania, it gets hot, but it's got to be so sweaty. So they don't use deodorant, but God bless the Amish. God bless the Amish. Okay, next question. Speaking of sweaty hot things, Stan, I know you are generations deep in Florida and in your district. Nobody can accuse you of not being deeply embedded in your community. Have you ever wrestled a gator?
Actually, so I was
yes,
working.
yes,
Yeah. So I was working with an underground utility company, and me and my boss went on a golf tournament. We won last place, and I was the safety director at the time, and free drinks coming around, and so I grabbed a gator tail. I was laying on the bank there at the golf course, and everybody made a bunch of jokes out of how the safety guy is the most dangerous one in the bunch. So I got a set of balls on me, that's for sure.
Well, you need. I think you need to, and I think we're seeing that. You know, I mean, I think just to be very clear, by the way, running for any office takes a set of balls, especially in a very public. I mean, you're replacing Matt Gaetz. We talked about, especially when you're not getting the Botox to compete on a level. But let me be very emphatic to people. Anyone running for a seat, especially a very public seat, has balls, or let's say labia for you ladies. He has a big old labia. Because you open yourself up to attack. You open yourself up to criticism. You open yourself up to an unbelievable amount of scrutiny. And you have to be able to talk the talk, talk a good game. I've done seminars with people about media training. It's a hard road, and it takes a lot of personal fortitude to do it. And I really appreciate you, putting yourself out there. And I hope everybody else is too. Again, we're trying to help this man get on the ballot. The link is at the bottom here, guys. DonorBox.org/Stan-McDaniels-4-Congress. If you are not seeing it and only hearing it, please, we're trying to money bomb him up. Stan's putting himself out there. And again, I think anybody who has run for office, because you put yourself out there, and it's hard to do. And a lot of libertarians, we like to talk a big game. We like to read the books. We like to complain online and attack each other online. But very few people actually have the nuts to go and run for Congress or for Senate or for even city council or for sheriff or whatever it might be. Your school board. So thank you, man. I mean, tell me the good and the bad of it. What's it been like running? And I want people to know this, the good and the bad of what you've been through running for office.
Well, since 2022 and my arrest for open carry, the lawfare that's come against me here locally, and to see, the commissioner's brother and stand in front of him as a judge and him rule against me, and then have him do an interview where he took another similar case and ruled in favor for them, right? And it's been tough, but I'm going to get up. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to stop. The changes that I've helped to, implement it, because I registered to run for supervisor of elections for this cycle, but because of the lawfare, I ended up doing 128 days in jail. And
oh my God, really?
And so I wasn't able to complete that qualification period. And it's been tough, but I learned a lot while I was in jail. I learned that, people get put away for some venial stuff, minor shit, man. And, that they get over sentenced, and you hear all these stories, about the travesties that go on through the court. Of course, not everybody's innocent in jail, but some are. And, it really is sad to see it. During my training with the Florida State Guard, I actually got to talk with some corrections officers here in Florida. And one said he thinks there's as much as 30% of prisoners in his facility that don't deserve to be there. And another said he thinks it's as much as 45% in his facility that don't deserve to be there. So this isn't just, happening to a president. This is happening to everyday Americans all over this country, all over this state. And it's got to stop. And that's one of the things we need is some accountability for these judges. We have investigations here into Freedom of Information Act violations, where 60,000 text messages of one of the commissioners got leaked. There's investigations from the FBI over in Panama City, which is right outside my district. There's investigations on judges for over sentencing here in my county. And these things are going on at every level, you know, and you got a judge admitting to talking to his brother, the commissioner, every day, you know, and that's a violation of separation of powers, right? Because, you know, they've got to be talking about something to do with the government if they're talking every day. And then the wife works at a local nonprofit that's funded by the county and the state.
Don't you love how that works out, right?
And then the other wife just got elected to school board. You know, it was unfortunate, but thankfully the commissioner did get voted out this year, and the judge, he resigned, and then the supervisor of elections, he actually resigned when I filed to run for supervisor elections. He resigned. So, you know, there's some coincidences going on.
I love
the
it.
Supervisor of elections and the judge, they both went to Department of Homeland Security.
No, are you serious?
I'm serious.
This is what, look, Stan, we were just talking about earlier. For those of you that missed it, Stan brought up an amazing point about the deep state, right? And that the deep state is not just the federal level that you think it is. You're talking about your regional, you know, director of elections and regional council. And where do they end up? Oh, the Department of Homeland Security. And their wives end up running NGOs that the government ends up funding. I mean, NGOs are one of the biggest black marks on our society, in my opinion. I mean, look, hey, some of them can do good work, but most of them are simply charity operations to funnel money to other sycophants of the government. And that is the deep state. The deep state is so much deeper. The roots go so farther into the ground than we ever realize. And honestly, I thank you for that, man. I mean, I've been a libertarian for forever, like since 2008. We're talking about the original money bomb, and we're doing a money bomb here, guys. Give that money, please. We're doing a money bomb. Let's blow it up. We'll get media attention for it. He needs to file tomorrow. We need the money. Please donate for this money bomb. But since 2008, I've been libertarian, and I never thought about that until now. This man is running for District 1 to replace Matt Gaetz, guys, a man who made me, a drunken libertarian who is your communications director, think about something he's never thought about before. And I love it.
Yeah.
Very well put. So let's, you know, we're gonna hold this about 30 minutes, but let's talk a couple minutes more.
Okay.
Mostly because we're still adding people that are watching. Tell me a little bit more about, you mentioned lawfare, you mentioned what's going on, where these people are going. Is your district, would you say it is known for corruption? Is that something you could lean into? And by corruption, I don't mean outright corruption necessarily. Well, I guess I kind of do. Has there been outright corruption that you can point to, or is it just this, as we're saying, deep state, cyclical, handout on handout, you know, those in power stay in power and they elevate those that are in power? That's what I'm curious about too.
Well, I mean, here in Escambia County, we don't call it, we put the scam in Escambia. And so
are you, did they call you Little Ukraine? Is that,
this goes back, you know, we had 4 commissioners many years ago. 4 commissioners actually were outed. So they were removed from the Board of County Commissioners here. It was a big investigation. One of the commissioners was meant to testify, and then he ended up dead underneath the house. So
wow, your house.
Yeah, it is known for the corruption here, and everybody knows it. And it's just, how do you beat it? You know, as one man.
Wow. I mean, it leans into the potency of your candidacy of trying to run and lean into that again, which is why we need to get you on the ballot so you can run on these matters. And you know, we're just talking here, but I'm more than happy to strategize with you too about more on this. You know, if we can get you on the ballot again, we need money, guys. By tomorrow, we need money so we can get him on the ballot and lean into all these issues that we're talking about here of rampant corruption, of getting Botox to compete with Matt Gaetz, to leaning into the amount of, I think, I don't want to say Florida is the most libertarian leaning state, because obviously New Hampshire has made a name for itself. But do you think that Florida is libertarian leaning more than almost any other state? And I know that's a leading question because you're going to say yes, but I mean, I really do wonder if that's the case.
I don't know how many times I've heard a Republican say, I'm more libertarian leaning.
Yeah.
It's been many. But they still seem to be stuck on that. If I vote for another candidate, that, the Democrats are going to win, because they play that fear so hard here. And Ross Perot really solidified that. And I think that's why, Ron Paul went Republican, right? To actually win. But I think that the tide is really turning with as many MPA voters as we have. People are tired of the two wings of the same bird, and they know what it is. But like I said, they're just still afraid to vote against that Republican, but they're not turning out for the primary to vote for the anti-establishment guy either. And how we continue to elect Rick Scott, for example, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we do. And despite his company pleading to 14 felonies and paying a $1.7 billion fine and nobody being held accountable for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you make a really good point about voter turnout. That's a key component of this election, because you think about it logically. Democrat voters in Florida know that Matt Gaetz is going to be replaced by another Republican. The dominant wins by DeSantis recently, the dominant turnout for Trump in Florida, say that Matt Gaetz, in their mind, right, Democrats' minds, going to be won by a Republican. So why would they even bother going to the polls, right? You're saying 20 to 30% turnout. So then it just comes down to you getting on the ballot and winning over, in a way, winning over Republicans or non-registered voters. But there's potential there, I think, to reach. And look, I'm not a guy that believes that the Libertarian Party is going to draw a ton of Democrats, right? I've criticized the party in the past for laying down and happy talking for liberals. But I think there's an odd opportunity there where
I agree
you're the alternative. That's, you say, look, a Democrat's not going to win, but you could stop a Republican from winning by voting for me.
I agree with you, and because I got to talk to a bunch of voters this election cycle, and so I got to talk to some Democrats that liked Kennedy. They would have liked to have seen Kennedy run, and now with Kennedy going in, they were going to vote for Trump as Democrats. Okay, so these people do exist out there. And, the more Bill Maher type people that aren't so far left, they do exist out there. And for somebody that's center libertarian, that's a little closer to where they are, right? And so I think that there is an opportunity for some of those voters to swing my way too.
I agree. Okay, look, Stan, we've got almost 2,500 live viewers to this, and I asked you this in private before we came on the show, but I think I have to address it now because there's so many people watching and seeing what looks to be a picture of Jeffrey Epstein in a captain's hat behind you. Can you please explain the photo or the painting behind you so nobody thinks that you are a huge Jeffrey Epstein fan, because it really does look like Jeffrey Epstein. Please explain it for the people watching.
All right. No, there's a local artist. I really do like local art. And so there's a local artist. She goes around, she takes pictures of a bunch of homeless people and people that stand on the side of the road. And I actually know this guy and stopped to talk to him. He holds a sign up with some scriptures on it talking about beware.
This is a guy you've known for years, right? It's not Jeffrey Epstein, who's now is homeless on the streets of Pensacola.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. No. I want to make it crystal clear for everybody watching. This is not Jeffrey Epstein has escaped to Florida like to Argentina.
Yeah, it's him with 1,000-yard stare. So you know, he's
okay. Sorry, continue, Stan. Sorry.
Holds up the sign.
So
holding up the same sign for many years.
Okay, beautiful. It's a beautiful photo, a beautiful picture. You know what we should do? We should as a promotion, if you get on the ballot, I think that you've got to talk to this artist, and we can sell prints of that beautiful painting of not Jeffrey Epstein, $10 a pop to raise money for your campaign. What do you think?
Oh, maybe Prince. Yeah, I mean that's the actual painting, but she might go for that. I'll have to get in touch with her.
I'm saying you make money, she makes money. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Yeah. But listen, the local business is the backbone of America, and you know, all the regulations that have been put in place to stifle the small business. That's one of the things I want to focus on as well. To get this economy back going, we need people to start businesses and do the work that all the people that are going to be leaving have been doing. So it's going to be a great opportunity for Americans all over to really change our economy back to that small business backbone that's been broken over the coals by corporate America and the corporatism that we have going on in this country today.
Well, and let's not forget COVID, right, which destroyed 1/3 of small businesses.
You know, I protested the continued mask mandate here in Pensacola. They wouldn't even let people into the city council meeting. Everybody was calling in on the phone. So I stood out with a Zorro mask and said mask mandates are illegal. So, you know, give me liberty or give me death. That is the American way.
I love it. Yeah, we were going to wrap this up. We keep adding on viewers, so I don't want to deprive you of this money bomb. Guys, we're doing a money bomb, as my wife texts me on my phone. You get the kids. You pick them up. I'll just ignore her. She'll get both my children. This is how dedicated I am to this money bomb, guys.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, LFG. We're doing a money bomb here, guys. Remember the impact of the Ron Paul money bomb. That's where the money bomb phrase came into existence, guys. If you're a libertarian, throw $5 even. We have to get this money. We need to raise almost $7,000 by tomorrow for Stan to go and run against Matt Gaetz. Run to replace, I should say, Matt Gaetz. This is an unbelievable opportunity for us to make an impact, to run in a race where he can make a messaging impact, where he can, as we were talking about earlier, influence people to come out and vote for a different, distinct candidate in what may very well be the true libertarian moment. I want to emphasize that, guys. We might be entering, and I personally think we are, the true libertarian moment with social media influence, right? I mean, Stan, right? What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, look how well our influencers are doing. You know, Dave Smith, he's just killing it. He's getting on mainstream news networks. You know, he's doing a wonderful job. Redhead Libertarian, love them. You know, Tower Gang, those guys are funny.
Give Tower Gang a shout out here. What about Lions of Liberty, dickhead? My podcast. How about that? Oh, I shouldn't have said dickhead. Now we're gonna get
I'm sorry if I haven't seen that one yet. I might have to pick it up.
Yes, you should. As should everybody else here. If we're giving people shout outs.
But you know, Trump even said he's going to appoint a libertarian, and we haven't seen that yet. So maybe it's time for the people to appoint one by voting for him.
Yeah, amen. Well, it's one of those things too where I think that this is why I talked about this when I was working for the Libertarian National Committee at the convention. There's a reason RFK came to our convention. There's a reason Trump came to our convention. It's because the culture has been so driven away by extremism on the right and the left, more so to the left. They've been driven to come to a consensus that both these people are psychopaths, and at the same time, they're being abused by government. I mean, bent over and abused through inflation, through foreign policy spending, through taxation. Everybody's waking up to this. And social media, and again, Elon Musk is tweeting out Rothbard and Mises and Thomas Sowell. I'm sorry, the richest man with the largest reach in the world is tweeting out libertarian thinkers on a daily basis. We are where the people are.
We are winning. We are winning, and it's sad that it's still got to be under a red umbrella, but we are winning. Our ideas are pushing through this in the Fed, in the Department of Education, abolish the FBI. People are saying these kinds of things,
Yes.
Come on, man. This is the most libertarian time that we've seen in America in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, we thought end the Fed with Ron Paul was, we were like, oh my God, end the Fed is. People are talking about ending the Fed. People are still talking about end the Fed. Bills are being proposed to end the Fed, and now, like you said, abolish the FBI, abolish the Department of Education. Donald Trump
abolish the IRS.
Abolish the IRS. Exactly. I mean, wait, what? I'm sorry.
These kind of things could happen.
What more can you ask for? What more? I mean, granted, we can ask for a lot more, them actually coming to fruition, but still, I didn't think, and I'm being perfectly honest, I didn't think in my lifetime I would actually see culturally a movement that would say abolish the IRS, abolish the FBI, abolish the CIA. I thought that we were working towards a goal 100 years in the future. Well, and that timeline has been moved up by 80 years, in my opinion, if not 100 years.
Well, the Chevron deference, that's what has really moved this ball forward so much. Okay. And because it's going to solidify the 10th Amendment and give a lot of this stuff back to the states. And the problem with that is that the states have already used all of this regulation from these out of control agencies to make their law at the state level. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they've legislated that at the state level. So this is going to take a lot of work at the state level of us standing up and electing people that are actually going to go after these illegal laws, the unconstitutional laws that were just, put forth by a regulatory agency.
Regulated into being.
The power to do it in the first place. There was recently a ruling on fluoride, and a judge ruled that fluoride makes our kids 10 points dumber. Let's
be clear. The judge didn't rule that the fluoride makes our kids 10 points IQ dumber. The study showed that fluoride makes our kids dumber, and that's not the only thing. But the evidence is finally being released and not quashed by the government.
And so I went to my local utility board and I let them know. I said, hey, get this fluoride out. And unfortunately, it was put to a vote to get it in there in the first place. But 2 days after I went to the utility board, the Surgeon General of Florida announced that all counties need to be getting the fluoride out of the water. So super glad. But I had mentioned this last year in February. I was already up there spouting off all the things that it's negative consequences for ingesting it in your body, right? The health effects.
Yep. So we keep adding people. I've got to wrap this up for my own life and my own existence with my wife, who's going to come in here and stab me in the neck. But Stan, let's end it on this. And by the way, thank you all for watching. We've got almost 2,700 people, or more than 2,700 people watching right now. I appreciate you guys tuning in to Stan here for the Money Bomb. Again, this is a Money Bomb. If you're watching, you can afford to spend $5. You can afford to spend $5. If we had 2,700 people right now give $5 each, we would have a media story we can pitch around not only getting this man on the ballot to replace Matt Gaetz, but also we can talk about how the libertarian community came together to make a statement tonight. And I emphasize you guys to think bigger. It's more than just, hey, I want to give money. Guys, it's $5. Give $5, and the impact goes well beyond that, because now he can spend that on phone banking, on campaigning, on media. I'll strategize with him. I already said it. I'll strategize with him on getting him media coverage in the district. We're all working together here to move the ball forward. This is a money bomb. Make it blow up. Make it blow up. Okay?
Listen, we can win this race. The Libertarians can put a gold seat in Congress right here out of Florida. It is very possible. With all the numbers, we can do it right here in Northwest Florida.
All right. Well, we've got 2 minutes. That's what I'm saying. I've got 2 minutes. And then I'm ending this. Stan, give me your best pitch, because you're going to have to do this anyway. I hope you practice it. You've got 90 seconds right now. I'm setting my internal timer. 90 seconds, your best pitch for why these people should give you money and why you should get that seat.
Well, we have the opportunity here to win a gold seat, and I am willing to put in the work, and I'm going to protect the smallest minority, and that's the individual. That's what our Constitution enshrined. We can come get our land back from China that they've been buying up next to military bases. I'm going to be pushing Defend the Guard for every state, right?
Defend the Guard, baby.
There's also an organization here in Florida I would love for you all to follow, Recall Florida. That's to hold our local officials accountable, because there's still, I think, 37 counties where you cannot recall your local officials. I want you to get to work too in your own community. Go to the meetings, because no one man can even go to all the meetings that are in your local community. And we can take back this nation one county at a time. So, but I'm going to run for Congress, and I'm going to be up there. I'm going to say taxation is theft. I'm going to say abolish the IRS. I'm going to say abolish the FBI. I'm going to say the things that none of the men up there have had the balls to say. I'm going to be right next to Thomas Massey and taking all kinds of pointers from him as well. I love that guy. Got to meet him. Yes, we've got to start calling out the corruption here at our local level, and I intend to do just that. And we need to hold these people accountable. We need accountability for the crimes that they have been committing, because what they've been doing is criminal.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you, Stan. Guys, again, you can follow him at The One Man Stan if you want to follow him on social media, on Twitter or X. If you want to donate, you can donate right now, and we need you now. DonorBox.org/Stan-McDaniels-for-Congress. Most of you are watching. Put your money where your mouths are, guys. $5. If you don't have $5 to put your money where your mouth is, I don't know. Are you a libertarian? Are you a clown? That's the question. This was fun, Stan. This was great. I think this experience has inspired me. I think I'm going to do more of these, but for now, I want to see this money bomb explode. I want to see you in there. As you said, I want to see a gold seat in Congress. And you know what? If you lose, I encourage you to just go in with a can of gold spray paint and just make it so either way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, and thank everybody for watching. Any amount you can give is going to go a long way. I'm going to continue to push no matter what for holding these officials accountable. We've got to continue to push back on these guys. And what I've been doing here in Northwest Florida is making some things change, whether they like to believe it or not.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you all. Appreciate all of you. 2,800 of you. Stan, you're a very popular man. If the voter turnout is as high percentage-wise as the percentage of libertarians watching tonight, I think you're going to be A-okay, my friend. So good luck. I'll be watching. We'll see how it turns out. And hopefully we'll have another conversation very soon.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. Good night, everybody.